Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world. Talk about a team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. All right. So it's no secret, okay, that on top of having a pretty rough offense last year, we also had kind of a rough defense last year, too. And this has been something that's been going on for quite some time. It's a thing that people point to for a lot of years now why we couldn't win games. Even when we were scoring on offense, we had a pretty rough defense at times. Now, enter Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham, I believe, is an excellent coach, but he needs to prove it on the field. The product that he gives needs to be at a level that will allow him to stay and flourish as a defensive coordinator and maybe even a head coach soon. But the thing that we're looking at now is this is just reality, okay? Reality is this. The Raiders have had a bottom five defense, I think, 2 out of the 3 years that he's been a defensive coordinator. The 1 year that he did it, it was a top 10 defense. I think it was number 10. And that's when he had the last 9 games with Antonio Pierce in 2023. He did have a lot of injuries last season on the defensive side. And that is, I think, I wouldn't say excusable, but it's understandable. But you do have a head coach in Pete Carroll who is a defensive-minded head coach. He's going to bring some expertise. He's going to bring some help to the defensive side coaching-wise, but if we have another bottom 5 defensive finish again, I don't know that Pete Carroll's going to have any, patience for Patrick Graham. That's just not going to happen. That's going to be 3 out of the last 4 years. Now, again, I do like Patrick Graham a lot. I think he's an excellent coach, but it has to show up in production. It has to show up on the field. Again, I take production over talent any day because if you're not quite as talented physically, but you produce on the field during game day, that's what we're looking for. That's what wins games, people who produce on the field. I am not one to get rid of good players. I'm not one to get rid of good coaches, but how long are you going to wait for a coach to really pull it around if you're having bottom 5 defenses? Again, I'm not saying that they should. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but if there's another bottom 5 finish for these Raider defense, regardless of injury or not, it's going to be pretty tough to keep Patrick Graham around for another run. Again, it's not my decision. I think it's going to be a tough decision. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Pete Carroll press conference from yesterday, from when you're watching it, and he talked a little bit about the Christian Wilkins thing and talked a little about his defense and everything like that, the offensive line. And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about what we heard, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Patrick Graham presser that happened a couple days ago. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an Excellent Way Sports channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel besides doing opposite and just watching the video. Okay, this Pete Carroll press conference is a little bit longer because there's a lot of questions about a lot of different things. But bear with me. It's a really good press conference. Okay, let's take a listen.
Pete, we've noticed a little rotation going on at center with Jackson and Jordan Meredith. Hey, what has Jordan Meredith shown you guys since you guys have been here, and what's how do you feel that job is shaping up?
Well, first off, it just goes right to the heart of everything. It's always competing, and these guys are battling for their playing time, and they're battling. It's a good battle. You asked about Jordan specifically. He's done well. He played really efficiently last year. His numbers and his consistency really showed up, even though he didn't seem right as a regular all the time. So he just opened our eyes in the offseason studies, and so we're just giving him a shot. JPJ's working his tail off, and both those guys are battling. So it just makes us better. And they're not the only two. There's battles across the board, but that's one that jumps out at you.
Sticking with those battles, could you please talk about Sincere and Zamir and their battling?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the running back group. It's the variety of the styles of the guys. I love that we have different kind of makeups of guys. Zamir kind of stands alone. He's biggest, strongest of the group, and he really runs tough. It's all over the film from his past. He's running at guys. He's attacking downhill, and I love that he brings that to us. Sincere, who didn't get a lot of playtime last year, did really well when he did, and he's shown he's got a real knack. He's got really, really good quick feet that are real natural to the position, and he makes guys miss. And so right now it's just keep giving them the ball, and we'll just keep logging plays and reps, and we'll figure it out. But we're real happy with the spot. I also, just to say something about Ashton, he's had a couple great days now. He's done a little bit of everything. ran tough, caught the ball well, looked elusive and fast and explosive. So it just makes the position group really exciting. And we don't have Raheem here; they're having baby right now, and so we're giving them all that freedom to do that well. And but he's been in it too, so it's a good group.
On the other side of the ball, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen, the energy from Jonah Laulu, and just him trying, not even trying, he's fitting right in.
Yeah. I've said this a couple times to you guys that Jonah had really flashed last year when he played, and didn't play consistently, didn't get in all the time, didn't log a ton of plays, but he shows all of the traits. He's really long, plays really aggressive, he's really good technique wise, he's a little bit quicker than you might think for a big guy, and he uses it well. His resolve about coming from the offseason all the way through to camp is really clear. He's really on it. He's playing day after day after day. He's doing things right, and he's playing really hard, and he's really tuned in. He's playing tough. So he's making a great pitch for, he needs to be out there a lot. So it's good.
You're talking about the DBs, JT Woods and DeCamera Richardson seem to be ascending in a lot of ways. What about those two players?
Okay, they're ascending. Yeah, well, JT came to us late, so we're just getting started with him. DCam has he's been doing a really nice job. He's had some really competitive plays. He's won some one-on-ones just in the first couple of days of pads here, and I've got high hopes for JT. He looks just right. He's really fast. He's really coordinated. Can catch the ball well and all of that. He listens and he's comfortable with what we're asking, the style of play. He's suitable. He looks pretty typical, I would guess, for us, for our kinds of guys. So he's going to get a heck of a chance to see what he can do and how he can contribute. So it's good positives to start with.
We
Talking
saw
about
Devin with the
competition.
interception today.
Go ahead.
Pete, we saw Devin with the interception today. Can you talk a little bit about your confidence in the group of linebackers in general?
Yeah, this is a good group for us now. We have totally changed this position group, from what you've seen in the past, and these guys all bring background and experience and toughness and a hard-nosed attitude, physicality to them. It's pretty exciting, and to see the effect they're having on the younger guys and kind of shifting their intensity and how they're playing and coming downhill. Johnny Glenn's got some decisions coming up here. It's going to be a really competitive group throughout, and we can play 6 guys right now. They can all play, and they can get in there. So that's a good problem. It's a tough problem to deal with, but we'll figure it out. We haven't talked maybe a lot about Pratt and Jermaine, but he brings a real toughness, and he has had a really diverse background and playing different spots and all. Very comfortable moving them around, and we're seeing that also out of Devin. Devin has a great play made today now, but he had probably 2 or 3 of the best plays on practice yesterday as well. He's back. He was on top of the world a few years ago, and then things kind of just didn't work out one reason or another, and he's back in action now, and he came up to me and said, I'm all in now, and he was dead serious in how he said it, and you can see it, and so with E-Rob kind of leading the charge, it's a really fun group.
Alex Bachman's a kid that just keeps making plays, just keeps showing up. Would you talk about him, please?
Yeah, I'm not ignoring that. He has been doing it throughout the offseason, and he's come to camp with the playmaking. It's just happening. He's getting in the right spots. He's got really good quickness. He's fast. He's a fast kid. He's got a lot of experience in his background. He just hasn't played very much. I'm not holding that against him. Man, he's in the midst of all this stuff, and I see it too. I see him. He's making plays every day, and we can count on him. And so it's a great sign. He's doing well in special teams too.
As you try to build a culture of this organization, this team on a daily basis, what are you seeing in the process, and what little things do you try to do each day to get to where you want it to be?
There's so much. Really, there's so much that we're doing from a day-to-day basis, going back to the messages that we started with, and setting the expectations and the guidelines for how this is supposed to feel. And when it is the feel part of what culture is really about, when you sense where you're supposed to be, how it's supposed to go, how we respond, what's expected, and when the players embrace that and they add their own little thises and that's to it. Now we're moving in a good direction now. I can feel it. This is how it's supposed to feel according to what I've experienced, and maybe even with stronger leadership early on, the direction of this team, it's unknown right now. We don't know. I couldn't tell you anything what's going to happen. But I do know they're going to be together, and I do know they're going to play for one another, and they're going to feel that connection that is so important to the culture and the effect of the culture on the performance. And it's about how we play, but it's the mentality that drives them to study and to work and to give it up for one another and to make the plays toughness wise because they have to, because we're counting on them, and that's all about this whole thing. So, I mean, there's so many aspects to it. It's ongoing, moment to moment, situation to situation, and I'm just trying to be right in the middle of all of it and keep giving them a format that they can embrace and they can take to where we're capable of going.
You mentioned the curiosity level of when you get the pads on, seeing how guys respond. I thought Jack Best yesterday really responded, but also Dante Thornton when the pads came on in his.
Yeah, it's a good acknowledgement, really, because Jack really played well yesterday. And sometimes coaches have been saying it. You guys hear it. You got to wait to put the pads on and see what he looks like. Well, Jack looked really good yesterday. He blocked well. He caught the ball in traffic. He made some tough catches. He was hustling like crazy, and he showed up. He was all over the place, so I think it was obvious. He's one of those guys. He's got the feel. He's got the sense. He can play the game, and that was really good to see. Dante continues to do stuff. He's making plays. He got deep yesterday. You guys saw that one. A huge play by Gino to find him laid down down in the corner. And he came through, made the catch. He's made tough catches over the middle. He's caught the slant routes where he's getting banged around and all that. And he's comfortable with it. I just stopped him after practice just to look him in the eye and just try to get a feeling. Is it seeming too big for him? He's right in it. And so I'm really excited about his chance to help us.
As much as you love competition, everyone knows about Bowers and Mayer, but man, Kadir and Runyon and Thomas, your tight end room is really deep. Would you talk about that group, please?
Yeah, we shouldn't overlook Ian now. Ian is a good football player. He's been a starter a lot of places, and he's played really good ball, and he's in great shape. He's fast. He's tough. He's got the experience that shows up. He makes good decisions at the right time. It's a really good group, and the young guys they're flashing. They're flashing. So it's a very strong spot for us.
At our training camp, you said a lot of really good things about Maxx and even Jonah just now and Tyree. When you look at that defensive line holistically, what are some traits that really just impresses you about the whole group?
Well, we're athletic. We're a lot of quickness in that group. We're not necessarily the biggest group, but across the board, everybody moves really well, and so we're going to play to that. And it's interesting. We're just trying to draw out the special qualities that each guy has to see where we're going to fit and how we can use them and how we can tweak them a little bit here. So that's a real competitive group, and that's going to take us all camp. It's going to take us through the games and all of that to figure that out. There's no rush, but it's a good spot because there's enough guys that have something to show you, and so we just got to give them the right opportunities and see if we can draw out the best in them.
Where does Coons fit into that?
Well, we're counting on Malcolm, to be a big factor. He's really athletic and he's a really natural player and he's got good instincts and all that. We're counting on him to be an edge rusher for us, and he's vying to play on the other side for Maxx. And we came here thinking that he would be the other side guy because he had the best chance, but missing all last year, he's got to get back on track, which he's done a great job of. Today on the turf, first time, he didn't get as many plays. I just wanted to make sure we get him through this first day out there and expect a lot out of him. So the group is going to be really competitive again. It'll take its shape. Tyree is really important where he fits in. He's got marvelous talent and all. We got to get the most out and the best out of him. So we'll see what happens.
You mentioned with the pads.
Is your name Willie?
Willie, Harry, and Honda.
Okay.
You mentioned with the pads coming on how much Jack Best stood out. I'm wondering when you looked at the team as a whole, was there anybody else that particularly looked different once they had the pads on and played to a different level?
Devin White really jumped. He jumped out in both these 2 days. Yeah, he's a ball player. And some guys are, and Jamal too. They're just football players that really understand the game. They've got a way about them, and you give them a chance. Really Greedy Vance, he did a nice job too, and he's a young kid coming out of nowhere, not USC nowhere, but just it being a free agent and all that. Little guy, he played like crazy yesterday and again today. So yeah, it's happening. It's happening in different places. Yeah.
Pete, when you've seen a lot of quarterback running back combinations, obviously in your career, and when you have a veteran like Geno and a running back like Ashton, a lot of times a veteran may have to carry that load, but Ashton comes with such confidence. How can his presence and the way that he runs and his confidence in the backfield help Geno this year?
Yeah, he had a marvelous day today. I don't know if you guys saw the play when E-Rob just smacked him in the backfield and knocked him on his tail, and he bounced right back up. Could carry. Didn't even phase him. A perfect reaction and response. And then the next carry, he busted, and the two of them, what Geno realizes already that he's a really natural football player. I'm talking about Ashton now. That he's a really natural football player, and he knows he can count on him to make good decisions when he gives him chances. The ball's going to go to him in the passing game. He's going to get some balls, and he's just so natural. He's like Brock is so natural at playing the game. You can sense that very quickly with guys. I know Geno already sees that in Ashton, and so. You ask how he's going to help him? Well, he help him by making some yards. Let's make a bunch of yards when we throw it to him, when he run it with him. And so that takes the pressure off the quarterback and having to drop back and sit in the pocket and trying to move the ball that way. We're going to move the ball around in a numbers of ways, what Chip's doing.
Coach, last week during Big Ten Media Days, Lincoln Riley started his press conference advocating for you to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. How important would that be for you, and how does it feel getting that kind of support from Coach Lincoln?
Well, somebody told me that Lincoln, that's really nice gesture by him to say something about that, I guess. But I think you got to be in college football for 10 years. I don't think I'm qualified in that regard. But that's a nice thought. What do I think about it? I don't care.
This far into camp, can you tell us something that you're actually pleasantly surprised about? Maybe it's farther along than you thought it would be at this point, sir?
There's two things. It's two guys. It's Chip and Pat. I think those guys are off to a really good start with what we're trying to do here. We're both sides of the ball are creative, and they're getting their message across, and we're able to. That's a lot of stuff we did today on both sides of the football, and so I think those guys have taken their leadership opportunity and the challenge of Patrick's had to adapt to Coach Pete, and they're bugging him all the time, and Chip's office right next to mine. I'm in his office half the time, bugging him too, and so I appreciate that they're putting up with me, but I think they're really showing it. We had two huge plays periods today of they're calling it. There's no script or nothing. They're calling plays from the sidelines and playing the situations as I keep creating for them, and I told both guys coming off the field today that I loved the way they went about it, because they showed our guys, they utilized the people that we wanted to see, the packages were shown, and they're out there battling. Those guys are going home at night. They're battling each other, So I'm really proud of that where they're leading us right now.
Let's go. Vinny, Ryan, Taylor, and Nick.
Real quick on Jordan Meredith. He played guard.
Excuse me, how do you know which ones that you're picking on when you do that? I mean, you give him one of these little wink or something?
I'll handle this part.
I forgot. This is Will's world. Go ahead.
Jordan, he was a guard exclusively since he'd been here. I think he took some center snaps in practice, but what about him gave you guys the inclination that
good question. He's a really good communicator. He's a little bit smaller guy, and the position kind of is more adaptable for him. He doesn't line up on the big three techniques all the time. He can do it. He did it last year. But his power that he generates, and then the quickness and the smarts, that combination is what really gives him a chance to compete for this thing.
Pete.
Yeah.
There was a report that came out yesterday regarding Christian Wilkins and an interaction with a teammate that led to a complaint filed to HR. I was wondering, would you like to comment on that situation?
Yeah, really, I don't. I have no comment to make. We made a decision on what we're doing, and we're moving with it, and we'll see how that all unveils itself in time. That was really good, wasn't it? Isn't that good? We got somebody else.
Damn.
Obviously, you've been preaching the compete culture since day one, but you really practice what you preach. We see you out there playing catch, you're getting in on tackles. Where does that joy come from in you? And how good does it feel just to be back out there, having, seeing the guys with the pads on after taking last year off?
Yeah, that's a big question. I don't know. I've always loved playing. It didn't matter. When I was growing up, I was playing everything: baseball, basketball, football, whatever it was. I was playing. Played 3 sports in high school. Wanted to play 2 in college. It's just playing. To me, practice is playing catch. You see me throwing the ball all the time because I love throwing the ball around. I don't know. It ain't no big deal because it just comes natural. But I love what we're doing, and I love being part of it. And so far, it's just been everything you could hope for, as a coach. I mean, the guys are responding. We're practicing really well. We've got dreams that we're sharing and visions that we're sharing for what's coming up. And to see guys ascend into the expectations that we have for them, and then also the whole group coming together in the culture of that. It's a really it's an exciting challenge to be part of. I feel very fortunate to be doing it, and whether last year was last year. It happened to be a really profitable year, and I'm doing all kinds of little things that I like, that I saw I wanted to try, and think we're growing because of that. But it's just been a blast, man. So if I was wearing a number, I'd probably have to wear 70, whatever I am, and on my back. But I don't feel like nothing different than I was when I was coaching at UOP. So I'm just feeling grateful to be here.
Last one, Nick. We've seen flashes from Aiden O'Connell over the last couple of years. How do you think Geno Smith has been helping Aiden take that next step in his game?
Well, Geno's a great image for him. They're both similar. They're pocket guys that can really stand tall and stand up against the rush. They're both really smart. They both have big arm. They can throw the ball all over the field. Aiden has done really well. We're really pleased with what he's doing, and he's challenging Geno every day with numbers and trying to outdo him, and that's exactly what we hope for. That's what competing's all about. But I don't have any problem with Aiden playing for us. He's in the game. It's just the way I felt about Geno over all those years when he didn't get to. This is in a good spot right now, and I can't wait for the games. He'll get a lot of play time in preseason, and he's going to do really well.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Thanks a lot.
Okay, a couple of things that I really want to highlight. First, let's just get this out of the way. He is not playing this media game with Christian Wilkins. There is more to come out, okay? I'm not going to say, I can't really say, I don't want to betray the trust of someone that I consider a friend. So I'm not going to say anything, but there's more to come out in this story with Christian Wilkins. It will come out during, the hearing, the grievance hearing and everything. So I'm not even going to touch it. Pete Carroll doesn't want to touch it. There's there's more to come out. And I think the way he shut that down was masterful. He even joked about how good it was he shut it down, which is good. Okay, let's move on from that. Couple of position battles. I am not so concerned with Jordan Meredith playing center. I think that you have to give some people competition. Everyone really have to give them competition. There's really no one else to give competition center-wise. I mean, maybe Dylan Parham, but he has his own little deal going on at guard. So, I mean, I really do think Jackson Power Johnson's going to go ahead and be the center. But again, Jordan Meredith going out there and showing what he can do, that's, that versatility is a big positive for him. One of the things that really stood out to me is the fact that he said that how it looks is how it's supposed to look. How the team looks, how the team is responding, how they're really buying in, all that stuff. It's how it's supposed to look. And you can infer what Pete Carroll is saying by that as this is how it looks when in a winning culture, in a winning team, this is how it looks. Then he went on to say that maybe the internal leadership is a little bit further along than he would have thought because of some of the guys that are already here on both sides of the ball, which is a big positive. Last thing I really want to highlight is when Pete Carroll was asked about who really stood out, and he said the 2 coordinators. And that's huge because these are the guys that are going to need to lead us. This team was a wreck. You don't win only 4 games in a season and have a really good one side of the ball and a bad other. You're bad all over. You're just a bad team. And the team's performed very poorly offensively and defensively last year. So having that kind of vote of confidence for these two coordinators is really big, because ultimately I understand that Chip Kelly has maybe more of a cachet and more of a resume built as far as being the leader of a high-powered offense. But Patrick Graham needs to, keep up, and he needs to keep up his side of the bargain. And I think that's what we're going to look into and see what he sees in some of his players when we take a look at the Patrick Graham presser coming up right now. Let's take a listen to that.
Morning. Welcome back.
PG, it sure looks like Malcolm is moving like the Malcolm of old for you. And I know how much you care from personally as a player. How happy are you for him?
I'm excited for him to get a chance to get out there, get better. Glad he's back. His energy, both on the field and in the classroom, it's infectious. And the fact that he goes out there and he executes at a high level, it's always encouraging to see that. And it's a good example for the other players.
You guys got a Jermaine pretty late in the offseason process. How has he done in terms of picking up what you want, and what can he bring to the defense?
He's done a great job, been real diligent, finding extra time to meet, putting his, getting his eyes in the playbook and getting used to how we do things. Again, he's been playing with a good defense for a long time, and he's done a lot of roles when he was at the other place. But so he knows football, so that's a positive. And I'm just happy to have another weapon out there on the field.
You guys have had a few people rotating in at cornerback since OTAs. What have you seen just from the competition from that group?
The thing that stands out, they have a brotherhood, I would say. You see them hanging out in the cafeteria, downtime at practice or before practice, all working on their craft together. The thing that's encouraging, you see a lot of length out there and a lot of speed. It's a space game in this league, and the receivers just keep getting better. I wish LSU stopped having receivers. Maybe we'd have less. They just have a whole bunch of receivers out there. But we got a good collective of a good group of fast, long guys. And then tomorrow we'll get to the physicality part in terms of seeing who's going to be able to support the run, see who can get their hands on people and press. So I'm encouraged.
Along those lines, you guys did make a lot of changes, not just a lot, but changes at cornerback. But Camry, this guy that's been here, and got thrown in the fire a little bit. DeCamry got thrown in the fire last year. Saw him running with the ones today. What about his progress so far in this season?
Well, for me, the best thing that could have happened, I just love the fact that the room is competitive. There are a lot of good guys in there, and it's driving all of them to improve. Because if you have you got to be ready to go. There's a lot of good players in that room. So, not to single out Cam, but the thing about Cam, he works really hard. He corrects his mistakes, and he has all the tools. He's long, he's fast, he's physical. We'll evaluate that a little bit more tomorrow. But I'm just real pleased with the progress he's made from rookie year to now.
How important is it to be able to rotate younger guys in and get them another taste of what it looks like maybe to run with the ones or even the twos?
They all got to get their experience out there on the field. The field, when we go out there to practice, and it would be funny if you guys just track the amount of time from the head coach to the coordinators to position coaches, the time they spend on trying to get every minute of practice right, because it's truly the most important thing we do. I love my PowerPoints and the presentations on the playbook and all that stuff like that, a little speech here and there, but none of that stuff really matters. It's all about practice. So being able to rotate those guys, Joe and M-Rob doing a good job of rotating them, is priceless, and they need those reps out there. You need those reps.
Could you talk about Jonah Lalu, please?
Mm-hmm. Did you have a question? Oh, just open question. Oh, okay. Okay.
I hate that question. It's a bad question.
What's happened? There's going to be a bigger roll up for grabs.
See the smile on my face. Jonah, I just remember when he came for the local pro day. And, he did a good job over there, the local pro day. Then, he got drafted by Indianapolis, got cut. We got him. And I just saw a raw player with a lot of the physical traits that you want at the position. And so when you have those traits and then you combine that with the work ethic he has, and I would say the coaching he's getting from the position coaches, the coaching he's getting from the players, the examples like Maxx, like Adam Butler, he's trending the right way. He's still a young player. Not that matters. He's a technician. He's physical. He's smart. And he's accountable. a lot of the things we're looking for.
You've seen a lot of veteran linebackers like Devin and Lanny. Not only do those guys help your team, but how do you think they help the guys kind of like behind them, like a Tommy Eichenberg develop?
I think a big part for those young players to see examples of how to do it. You know, just like right now for me, I'm Pete's my example. I'm learning how to a different approach, and it's important to learn from the people that have done it before. So that's always a positive. You can see their example. You know, if you don't know something, you can ask a question. It's all applicable to me. If you look at me as a defensive coordinator, I can ask Pete, I can talk to Pete. It's the same type of progression, like with the same process with the player, I think.
How nice to bring a versatile guy like Jeremy Chittin out there.
He's big, he's fast, he's physical, ball skills. It's wonderful to have him as a weapon out there. And then on top of that, the communication and him being able to communicate what he's seeing out there, not keeping it a secret, helping his fellow players out there. That's the more, if we could be a noisy defense pre-snap and be a physical defense post-snap, we're trending in the right way.
With that being said, what about Jamal Adams?
Yes.
He's only been there a couple days, but what have you thought?
I mean, it jumps out. You know, each year is different, but you know, his track record, physical, fast, dynamic playmaker. You saw some plays out there on the field. We'll find out some more tomorrow when we get the pads on. Great communicator, good energy, and it's been a pleasure to work with him.
We've seen Tyree take reps inside in the past. It sounds like he might do it a little bit more or try to. What does he bring in that versatility that he can do inside, outside? And what have you seen from inside that might be beneficial?
So once you bring an athlete like Tyree down there, so Tyree's long, he's got quickness, he's got play strength, and when you bring that down, it's a different matchup for the guard. So that's the first thing you're looking at there. And then from there, just getting them the reps to develop a move, a counter move, counter move. You don't need a whole lot to start off. So get your go-to move and then have a counter off of it. So that's really what the process he's going through right now.
You've been talking about versatility being mobile. Do you feel like this is one of the more versatile games you've had this year?
There are several positions that give us some flexibility in terms of being versatile with the scheme. It's not quite as versatile and complex as everybody makes it out to. I try to tell the guys all the time, I'm trying to keep it down to 5 things I'm asking you to do. Realistically, like 5 things if you go through it, the process of it. So, but there's a lot of we got some really good football players that give me some pieces to move around on the chessboard and then to play good defense. Just him continue to mature as a leader. More and more confident. You know, the success he's had is building his confidence, and you know, as a communicator, he's going to be a main part of that in the middle of the defense. One of the main people communicating. The position calls for it, but he has to take it to another level there with the communication, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
How much are you trying to embed that these first couple of weeks so it just becomes competitive or contagious as we reach August?
No, I'm sure Coach talked about it. It's relationship. We're in a relationship-based business. And so with those relationships that we build off the field, on the field, it makes it easier to communicate. You know, just right between the eyes, communication. You know, whether something's right or wrong between the players, coaches, the players, players, the coaches. And then on the field, in order to play defense, there's a lot of grass we're out there defending. If we could communicate effectively, be a noisy defense and kind of cut down the variables by seeing a cut split, seeing where the quarterback is, if he's under or in the gun, and cut down the variables, that puts it back in our favor a little bit because they have a play called and we're reacting to the play.
Make the transition from safety to linebacker with you guys. I don't know if you coached a guy that made that transition before, but what kind of goes into pulling that off?
Really, when you look at linebacker, safety, however you put it, like just talk about just basic cover 3. If the safety's rotated in the box away from the nickel, I mean, he's no different than the will if we sent the rotation the other way. There's a lot of similarities to the position. I've coached plenty of guys that have done that, and you see the trend throughout the league. You know, there's dime packages. They're getting linebacker reps, so it's nothing foreign to him. Thank you.
So the more that we hear about Jamal Adams, the more that I think he's probably going to snag one of these linebacker jobs. You don't get a guy that is as dynamic as Jamal Adams if he's healthy and you don't keep him on your team. So we're looking at Jermaine Pratt, we're looking at E-Rob, we're looking at Devin White, and we're looking at Jamal Adams. Those are 4 really good linebackers that you put them on the field. They're all dynamic. They're all tough. They all have their own strengths. And ultimately, it's a new group from last year, but it could be one of our better groups in the defense. Who knows? Jonah Lualu is another story that I think we should be talking about a little bit more. I want to do a video on him on the defensive line, guys. But for right now, we're just going to talk a little bit about what he's doing. This is a big kid, okay? A big kid that really didn't have it all together. He went to like a local combine kind of scouting thing, and he wasn't like huge pro day or anything like that. He got drafted, then he gets cut by the Colts, and I just think he's a guy that needed a little bit more time and a little bit more seasoning. And I think a lot of the injuries to the defensive line of the Raiders really gave him a shot to not only practice and hang on with the team, but also get some game reps that he probably wouldn't have gotten elsewhere. And that confidence really is going to grow with Jonah Lualu. I think he's a guy that can play a lot of reps. He can really wreak havoc on the inside. With no Christian Wilkins in the middle, we're going to have a lot of guys step up and play different roles. The main thing for these guys right now is build off of the confidence they already have. For right now, I am looking for the combination of Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll to build a Raider-style defense. We need it. We haven't seen it in quite some time. What is a Raider-style defense? Big, fast, smart, tough. That's it. That's what you're looking at. Big guys who are fast, smart, and tough. Pretty simple, right? And we're like, oh, well, this linebacker is this and this guy is that, and we have to have these types of corners. And like, no, that doesn't matter, okay? When you think of a Raiders defense, the best ones, those players that played on those defenses, big, fast, smart, tough. Boom, easy. Sometimes they're bigger defensive linemen. Sometimes they're a little bit smaller. Sometimes the ends are a little bit smaller. Sometimes they're a little bit bigger. The linebackers are tall. They're short. You know, sometimes the corners are short and fast. Sometimes they're a little bit longer, maybe not quite as fast. Big hitting safeties. Sometimes they're a little bit more of a ball hawk type of safety. It doesn't matter. Big, smart, fast, and tough. Are you those 4 things? If you can do those 4 things, you can be a Raider-style defense. These are something that we haven't had in quite some time in Raider Nation. But I am very confident that the combination of Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll can bring that to us this season. All right, guys, that's my time for today. I really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free to do. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel, besides doing absolutely nothing, just watching the video. Guys, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep crushing it. I need you guys to keep sharing all these videos that you like to your social media. It helps get the word out there. I'm doing my part by making this content. I need you guys to please do your part and tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your moms. I need you guys to tell everybody. Raiders versus the world's greatest and go to Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Until next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.